So this is my outline of the presentation. So I shall try to update briefly on Bangladesh INDC that we submitted in 2015, and then I shall say about the NDC implementation roadmap that we have prepared in 2018. And unfortunately, we could not submit the final updated NDC. So we have submitted an interim one on December 31st, 2020. So I shall speak about that, and then what we are doing at the moment to submit the final NDC. And later I shall speak about CDM projects that we are implementing in very brief, and then about joint crediting mechanism that we are implementing with Japanese government, and last slide on institutional arrangement under Article 6 in Bangladesh with the World Bank. Next slide, please. So as you can see, we have submitted our NDC on 25th September 2015 to the UNFCCC, and we considered 2012 as the base year, and we considered only 3 sectors: power, industry, and transport, specifically energy use in these 3 sectors in our NDC because of non-availability of data on other sectors. Next slide, please. As you can see from this slide, we have both unconditional and conditional contribution in our NDC. In case of unconditional contribution, we considered that from our business as usual case. You can see this from the graph as well. So we considered that we shall reduce 5% or 12 million tons of carbon dioxide from power, industry, and transport sector by 2030 from the business as usual scenario. And in case of conditional contribution, assuming additional international support, we are interested to reduce additional 24 million ton or 10% for those sectors. Next slide, please. So we actually prepared for the implementation to facilitate implementation of our INDC or NDC. So we prepared a roadmap which includes the sectoral action plan for these 3 sectors: power, industry, and transport. Next slide, please. This is the, you know, everybody knows about this. So we have to update our NDC every 5 years. So accordingly, next slide, please. We are going to update our NDC. Next slide, please. So as you can see, as I mentioned, that Bangladesh submitted an updated NDC, which we have mentioned is an interim NDC, and submitted it to the interim portal on 31st December 2020, not 21. It should be 2020 to NFCCC. We haven't quantified the emission reduction in our NDC because we are having assessment at the moment in those sectors, those 3 sectors: power, industry, and transport. And also we are trying to have some sort of assessment which are additional sectors we can include and to make our NDC more ambitious. So in our interim NDC, we have 5 sections. Introductory section where we have mentioned that why you haven't succeeded in submitting updated NDC, and we mentioned that this is an interim NDC and we are going to submit the updated final version by the middle of, shall not go beyond the June 2021 to submit the final issue. So what we have mentioned in case of like second section, recent landmark initiatives, you know, we have some sort of climate prosperity plan. Up to 2030, we have developed a climate prosperity plan, and then we have National Solar Energy Roadmap 2021-2041. We have mentioned about National Action Plan for Clean Cooking, and we have also assessed like forest and carbon inventories. Next slide, please. We have developed Bangladesh National Action Plan for reducing short-lived climate pollutants. So we have also mentioned that in very brief. And then Energy Efficiency and Conservation Master Plan. We have mentioned this. We have mentioned about the CDM potential in our interim NDC, and renewable energy initiatives promoting green technologies. Next slide, please. In case of third section, we have mentioned the mitigation actions and the achievements we have done so far. We have considerable achievements in power, transport, and industry sector, and we have mentioned that in our interim NDC, but as I mentioned earlier, we haven't quantified those. And in the mitigation actions, we have also mentioned that we have some planned action that 1700 megawatt of electricity will be generated from larger scale grid connected solar PV projects and additional 250 megawatt from solar home system by 2030. So we have mentioned in that mitigation. Next slide, please. Under 4 section, as you know that Bangladesh has submitted both adaptation and mitigations, 2 options, 2 sections in our INDC. So we have continued doing that. So we have also kept options for adaptation actions. But basically, this will be, I mean, a very 4 or 5 page document where we'll mention about broader mitigation initiatives, but we will refer to ongoing national adaptation plan formulation that we are doing at the moment. So our final NDC will be mainly focusing on mitigations. And we have also, under the adaptations actions, we have also mentioned about the Bangladesh Climate Change Trust Fund. You know, we have a domestic fund from where we have allocated $450 million over the last 10 years for adaptation activities in the country. We have developed a Delta plan for 2100. This is actually a plan. You know, most of our vulnerable region is coastal region, and we have developed a Delta plan where we have suggested how we are going to develop this Delta and make this Delta climate resilient. So we have also mentioned about this Delta plan in our interim NDC. And also there are some opportunities. We have done some sort of assessment of our all forest sectors. So we have also mentioned that as well. And finally, we mentioned that we are going to submit an ambitious NDC by June 2021 with quantified emission reduction targets. Next slide, please. So this was our interim NDC that was purely descriptive, and I have already mentioned about that. So now the status of Bangladesh NDC update, that what we are doing at the moment. You know, we are doing stock taking in the 3 sectors as I have mentioned: power, industry, transport sector. How much we have achieved, and what further potential is there to achieve further mitigation opportunities. And as I have mentioned that we are going to submit this by the middle of 2021. You can see from the small table below that Bangladesh NDC covered the 3 sectors here, but in the updated NDC we are considering that we will include a full sector, agriculture, forestry, and other land use, and under energy, power, industry, and transport will come, and we will include like industrial process and product use and waste sector. So we are trying to make it more comprehensive. Next slide, please. Having said about the NDC and NDC update that what we are doing at the moment in the country, I want to mention in 2 slides our CDM mechanism, clean development mechanism. You know, Bangladesh established a 2-tier designated national authority in 2005. So far, we have actually implemented. Today, I have checked. We have new registered projects. So total 21 CDM projects registered at CDM Executive Board. And 6 now there is 6 projects that we have approved by the DNA. So from that, our CER issued so far is 8.1, not 7.8, 8.1 million ton till 2020, and we have potential to generate additional, not additional total, 118 million ton of CERs, but it depends upon the Article 6 negotiation decision. Hopefully that will be taken in COP26. Next slide, please. Can you, yes, press the buttons, please. Yeah. Next slide, next button, and next one, next one. Thank you. You can see this is a 2-tier designated national authority in Bangladesh. National CDM board, a higher tier, and the lower tier National CDM committee. and our department is the Secretariat of the DNA, and I'm the CDM DNA contact on behalf of the country. So this is the two-tier DNA structure, but we find it a little bit time-consuming. So next slide, please. We're considering to have a single-tier institutional mechanism for Article 6 in Bangladesh. And at the moment, we are working with World Bank. Ms. Chanda and Mr. Chandra is helping us to establish an institutional mechanism in Bangladesh. So we are part of the Private Market Club, and we are trying to establish some sort of institutional mechanism in the country. But we are at the very initial stage of our, establishment of the process. So with this, I conclude my presentation. If there is any question, I'll be very happy to answer. Thank you. Sorry, I forgot to mention about the JCM project activities. You can see with Japan, we have a joint crediting mechanism, and we have established a joint committee, and we have organized 3 meetings, but we could not arrange 2 more meetings with Japanese side because due to Corona, Corona pandemic, and hopefully, next slide please. Hopefully, we are going to organize online 4th joint committee meeting soon, and we're going to issue our carbon credits for the first 2 projects in Bangladesh. These are the table for of our JCM projects. As you can see, we have here we have 3 projects that was concluded in 2015, but unfortunately we have only 4 projects that we have completed, and only 1 project is ongoing. So our portfolio in JCM is very small, but we are trying to increase further projects, and hopefully in the near future, with the support of World Bank, EatCall, we are trying to enhance our stakeholder engagement, and from there we are planning to have more JCM projects. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned from the earlier slide, that was 3 projects, and this is the 4th project, installation of high efficiency centrifugal chiller for air conditioning and system in clothing tag factory. This was the 1st project, and the last one is the final project, Southwest high efficient transmission line project that is ongoing at the moment. This is going through a tendering process, and Bangladesh Power Development Board is going to implement this process. So this is the only project ongoing. Next slide, please. This is the picture of the first project, first JCM project in Bangladesh, the centrifugal chiller that was installed in City Sugar Mill in near Dhaka. Next slide, please. I have already mentioned about this. We are having an institutional arrangement with World Bank. We are working with the World Bank. So that's it from my side. Thank you.